Hello planty people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's the day that I finally film my plant tour, my complete house plant tour of what I have inside currently. I still have some plants that I have like outside of my patio, but we're not going to get into that today. We're just going to focus on the plants that I have currently inside of my house. I also put on some fake freckles today from afar. Not too shabby, but up close, they fake. Also, I have YouTube memberships. If you would like to join, you can hit that little join button down below. And also I have a link in the description box that'll take you straight to it as well. We have a Discord server for all tiers and also tons of other perks for the other 2 tiers as well. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started into the tour because we got a lot of plants to cover. I already tried to film this once and I just didn't continue, so today's the day. Okay, so right over here we have a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that's not doing the best at the moment. We have a dead orchid and a kind of dead orchid. Well, actually, this orchid isn't even dead. It's still firm. So we have some orchids up there that just need to be recuperated and rehabbed. Oh, he has a new little baby leaf. Anyway, right below him I have my 2 Hoya bellas, which I love dearly, but they are trying me right now because they were pest ridden and we're trying to fix that. And plus, whenever I repotted them, they just made a mess and I'm angry at them for that. Right down below we have this Philodendron Dark Lord, I do believe. He's also was covered in thrips, so he's over here in the corner by himself, as well as this little baby Micans who is really struggling. He needs to be watered, so I'm sure a good watering will do him some good. Right next to him is my little Monstera albo chonk who has activated his little auxiliary bud, which I'm so proud of. You doing some good things, BB. And then right below him is my little terrarium. And I don't really show off. It has a Begonia Julau, green chloristicta. This is a Begonia Frida. I also have a Begonia teratiformis, which was a wish list plant for a while. Finally got that. More a chloristicta, more Frida. And then I also have this philodendron. This Begonia Darthvaderiana. I think you can see her. She's got 3 leaves, which is the most this plant has ever had. I need to scoot her back or do something with her because she's touching the glass and I don't like that, and I'm sure she doesn't either. So right in front of that I have this little Hoya Rebecca that Brooke sent me, and then this really nice Alocasia Frydek who is doing so much better. He was doing really bad there for a little bit, but he looks a whole lot better. And then my Philodendron Glorious that Brooke sent me as well. Her new leaf came out alright and she's got some little damage, but she was covered in thrips, so we're hoping for a recovery here. And back over here is my Hoya linearis. Used to be a gigantic pot, but has now been reduced to like 4 strands, but we're getting there. We're making progress. One of my Monstera elbows that I got in a trade also got covered in thrips, is doing so much better. Got a little growth point coming out right there. My Philodendron mame, she has seen better days. She also was covered in spider mites. She was 4 leaves, but I chopped the other 2 off. One was completely yellow and the other one was well on its way out. And she's always got a new growth point going on for me, so at least there's that. Here is my Philodendron Campos portuanum, I think is the full name. I usually just call it Campo because it's easier. Covered in thrips, doing better now. This is going to be a very like thrip covered story tour thing going on. My Anthurium clarinervium, this is a brand new leaf that's hardened off. She's gorgeous. I got her from my friend Sage. We did a nice little trade. My Gloriosum that I got from Harley's finally putting out some growth for me. This will be my first leaf in my care, so I'm super excited about that. This is my Philodendron adapapoense, which I'm almost 100% positive has a spent node. because he's just not growing at all, and I got him air layered, and yeah. So there's him. Here is my begonia Amphoxus. I almost let the name slip. He's doing okay. And then my mother plant of the begonia chlorosticta definitely needs to be watered. She's hella droopy in there. My Philodendron Florida Ghost. I can't remember which begonia this is, but she do be a begonia. My Syngonium albo, putting out some nice new foliage right there. Chopped her all the way back. She was a giant plant, but she was just getting a little unhealthy looking, so I chopped her all the way back, and this is the new foliage that has come out. My Billy Atabapoense hybrid is doing okay. Finally putting out a new little baby leaf right there. Also had some thrip damage and had some root rot as well, so got root rot when I had her in LECA. Now she's in here. Yeah, now I just need the Bilietiae so I can have the complete set. So I can have all the hybrids and the mother plants. Over here is a Hoya numeraloides that I don't really talk a lot about because this Hoya just gives me trouble and I just don't give him the time of day. This is looks like a dead cutting. We'll just skip that. This little guy, I don't even remember what it is, but Max gave him to me, and he's just rooting in here with the numeraloides. An air plant. This little thing that Max gave me with the, oh, I can't remember. I think these are all just Dischidias. Dischidia ovata, the watermelon one. And then my props that I have going of my Micans. I like to have quite a bit of props going all at once so that whenever it like goes in a cycle, these will be ready and nicely rooted, and then I'll pot them up, and then I'll take more cuttings and I'll put them in there, and then usually by the time they're ready to be rooted, the previous ones are probably about ready to be up potted as well. So yeah, kind of sad looking string of spades. Yes, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not very good at taking care of string of plants. I don't know what it is. And right above I have why can't I think of the name? An orchid, the regular orchid. The name escapes me. Oh my gosh, it's just a regular orchid. Why does the path's name come in my head? Oh well, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's your regular grocery store orchid. I have a Hoya Crimson Princess right here in my Wally Grow pot, as well as some Micans and some Heteroraceum that's doing well, Pothos, and then the Scindapsus Pictus Argyrius is doing pretty good. I'm gonna give her a little bit of a chop so that she can even out with the rest of her tendrils. And then over here we have my Hoya Multiflora, which I have in this really beautiful macrame hanger that I got from my friend Liv Knotted. I bought it myself, but yeah, she's really talented, and he's about to put out some nice new blooms for me. Here are my little succulents slash one Hoya that I have right here. Is a cacti. I don't know what kind it is. I have two Huernia zebrinas right there. This one has a nice little lifesaver flower already going on. This is a Ripsalis Red, I do believe. I need to get this guy a different type of situation, honestly. And here is a really big troublemaker. This is my Hoya Australis, and he vines like all the way up here. I can't get him off of my dead Brantianum little pot because he's so like intertwined with it. It's ridiculous. He goes all the way up here, and there's this like last leaf. Yeah, I need to just go ahead and chop this guy down because he's actually quite frustrating me recently. And from there, we're gonna go straight over here to my Raven ZZ that I have over here in this really dark corner. He survives, he does not thrive. And then directly across from him is going to be my little orchid section where I have my two paths that I talk about all the time that I absolutely love. Oh my gosh, I cannot think of the name of the regular orchids. Why does the name escaping me right now? Anyway, here's my two regular dudes. They're doing so much better now that I'm putting a lot more like time and energy into them. I really would love to have an orchid bloom. Oh, I felt like I almost had the name there for a second. Anyway, here is it's not a bulbophyllum, but I thought it was. It's a I don't remember how to exactly say the genus of this guy, but he's still doing really quite well. His new growth is doing great. This Cattleya, I almost said Cattleya. I guess it could be interchangeable, but she's doing good, as well as this dude. My dendrobium that I have over here in moss is doing well. He's always putting out tons of like new little shoots for me. And then my other dendrobium over here, this is a brand new shoot and looks nice and green and pretty. Just, I don't know, I just really love orchids. So in this video, I'm not really going to be talking about like what I have currently propagating. I'm going to be doing a video of that shortly though, but I do have a prop box in here, but we're not going to discuss that. We are discussing this giant Philodendron micans. She's so pretty and so lush. She goes all the way down here. This is my mother plant that I get all my cuttings from and that I make lots of little babies. And over here is my Hoya lacunosa snowcaps. This is my first one that I ever got, and she's looking so nice and lush. I just love the way that she looks, and she's in this like teeny tiny little 2-inch pot. So I need to do something with her, but I really don't want to move it and like disturb her in any way, shape, or form, because I would hate for her to like be upset and not have this like really like nice, pretty, lush type of fullness to her. So yeah, but that's her. So I know I said I wasn't gonna be talking about my prop box, but this one is a little bit more than a prop box. I have like some plants in here that are more than just little props that I've taken. So this like Anthurium, this Amedrium Zippilanium. I know I've been saying it wrong this whole entire time, but it's just easier for me to say Zippilanium because that's just what I've gotten used to. But she's doing so good. She almost died, and I just like put her like whole node, like her whole entire stem is right there. I just like threw it in here as a last ditch effort to save her, and it took her a really long time to even start rooting or like doing anything in general. And she put out this little baby leaf, and then she put out this one, and then out of nowhere she put out this beauty. And I love Amedriums. I want to find out more about Amedriums. But real quick, I wanted to show Max a little update on this dude. It's just growing like a weed now, Max. And then I have this little Hoya serpens right there. And then I have some more things, but we'll talk about that in a different video. And I do believe, I can't remember which guy this is. I do believe that this is my Philodendron melanochrysum that I chopped completely back because he made me mad. So this is the area that I don't really like to talk about a whole lot. This is my Hoya section, and it's not because of Hoyas that I don't really like to talk about it, because if I didn't like these plants, I honestly wouldn't have them. But it's just because it's so chaotic, and I really need to trellis these. So there will definitely be a live coming up soon where I trellis like most of these Hoyas. And Brooke's little Syngonium that she gave me so long ago is still she's doing horrible. Like, look at her. What is that? I need to find her a completely different situation. Sorry about the purple lights, but I know that if I turn them off, then it resets the timer, and I like exactly where the timer is, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. This is Hoya imbricata. He's in moss. He's been in moss forever. My Hoya Rebecca. Had her for a good little while. Hoya Australis Lisa back here. She also needs a new situation. Her LECA needs to be, I think I'm just going to take her out of LECA in general because she's just not having a good time in there. Hoya Limonicia, I do believe. Got some funky little leaves on here. But yeah, she's doing really good, thriving. Hoya obscura back here. Once again, I'm sorry for the really bad lighting. It's just how it has to be. This is a Hoya Tangii, doing okay right there. And then, oh, I can't remember what this guy is. This is just a form of Hoya australis. It's a different type. It's a little bit different than the ones that we typically see, but I'm not 100% sure exactly which one because the name has kind of like faded off over time. Over here is a Hoya that I always have to look up the name for every single time. So yeah, he's just like really thick and fuzzy underneath, and he's just really cardboardy, and he goes all the way over there. Over here is my Hoya Croniana Splash. Finally doing something. Here we go, that's a little bit better. This guy has like died back and grown out, and then died back and then grown out. He's finally growing out again. Over here I have a Hoya Caudata. It's trailing around, and then back there I have this other Hoya that I always have to look up the name for. He's just a big dude. And then I have this one single cutting of a Hoya Shepherdii that I've had for quite a while now. I'm pretty sure that this will always be a single leaf because I like the two times that it did try to grow, the growth point like fell off two different times, so I'm sure that he's just spent. I didn't realize that Hoyas could be spent, but I'm pretty sure he's spent because he's not putting out any new growth, and he hasn't in a really long time. But I will keep him because he was a gift for reaching 100 subscribers, which seemed like a feat that I would never ever like get to, and here we are with just over 2,500. So now we are downstairs in my kitchen / living room area. This is where I have my neon pothos, my peperomia incana, needs to be watered. Her leaves are really flimsy. Maggie's tail and the Maggie. This is my Rhaphidophora decursiva, who also needs to be watered. His leaves are curling in a lot. I have a little cactus dude, another Rhaphidophora red, I do believe. A really sad cactus who probably needs to just be thrown away at this point. And then my Rhaphidophora Hoya. I just now realized, as soon as I filmed this video, that I have 3 Rhaphidophoras. Wow. But doing very well, putting out some really tiny leaves. So maybe I need to like make sure he's growing against the board. I don't know why he's not exactly growing against the board, but he isn't. Oh well. My Hoya Crimson Queen, very lush looking. She is doing great. Hoya Curtisii over there, very happy. And then I have my 2 sassy peace lilies that are variegated. They're doing okay. They needed a much needed watering because they were really droopy, and I'm sure that a lot of leaves are getting ready to start the yellowing process from where I let them just get a little too dry, but oh well. And then last but certainly not least is going to be my IKEA cabinet, and there's a plant missing there, which was my Philodendron Splendid. I chopped her completely back. I chopped her in like node by node, and yeah, I think she'll be happier that way. And then my Monstera Thai Constellation, who was just getting so close to putting out the new little baby right there. I cannot wait to see that come out. And then I always forget about my String of Hearts right here, who, like I said, I don't know if I'm the best caretaker of String of Hearts. I really like them though, but I don't think they like me, even though there's like, you know, the flowers, but look at all the dead leaves. Oh, up here we have a Hoya Bella albomarginated. We have 2 Hindu ropes. One's outer variegated, one's inner variegated. Both doing well. Some String of Heart props. And then down here we have the Hoya latifolia doing really nicely. Nice new beautiful leaf. This little like divot bothers me, but you know, just makes her more unique, you know? Then behind her we have my really sad Anthurium magnificum. It's got a new, her other leaf is right here. Got a new leaf on the way, thank goodness, because she needs it. This leaf is about to die because I let him get too dry. I can never remember the name of this guy either. I always have to look him up, as well as this little Anthurium. But she's doing much better than him. I got them at the exact same time from Ecuador when I went and visited their US shop. And then we have my Anthurium warwickwianum doing much better. Also battling thrips, but she's got a new growth point right there. Looks like it's doing really good too. And then my other warrock, who I accidentally like bent the leaf and it got really upset at me. She's doing okay. Not really a whole lot to report back from her. And then my crystallinum is now 2 leaves smaller and about to be a 3rd leaf less, but she's got that new growth point coming out right there. Also battled thrips. I'm going to have to go and get some something stronger for the thrips. So yeah, because I can't keep dealing with it. My Anthurium forgetii, thrip damage, doing so much better. I think I cut off one of his leaves too, but he's also been flowering for me. Like right there is another flower, and then I have this other flower where I connected his pollen. Where I took his pollen. It's right there. I just have it sitting right there. It could be stupid to have it sitting right there and not having it refrigerated, but yellow. And then this really cool path that I absolutely love. No new growth yet, but she's still doing okay. And then here is my Anthurium dorayaki crystallinum hybrid. Got a lot of yellowing going on. It's not pest related. I think it's water related. I'm not really sure what the complete deal is, but this new little leaf is doing good. This is the smallest leaf I've had in a really long time, but I think this might be the newest leaf that it's gotten since I chopped it, which would make sense, but I think that this leaf might also be the newest leaf, but I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that she is doing okay. Not great, but okay. And then my Hoya sulawesi, who's doing good, trailing all the way back here. I love this Hoya. This Hoya was a wish list plant, and it was a wish list plant that was like a wish list plant for like 5 minutes, and then I had to seek it out and find it, and I'm so glad that I found it for the price that it was at, because I love it. And then down here we have my mother plant, which is my Hoya alba marginated. Finally started growing for me again. She hadn't been growing for me in a while, ever since I propped her, but there's finally some new growth coming out right there. One of my pride and joy plants is right here. This is my Anthurium, a medium silver. She got really dry, and I didn't even notice until she was really limp and falling over. And I think that that's where these brown spots come through. You could totally correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never noticed these brown spots on her until recently, and that was because I didn't water her. And I don't know if that's this plant's way of yellowing. I could just be a total moron by saying that, or it could be just burnt from the lights in here. But either way, that's just my thoughts. But I love this plant so much. And then right down here, I do not know how to say that name. Okalades. I don't know how to say a name, but she's doing okay. She's losing a leaf over here, but I forgot to water my plants down here for a little bit, but she feels a lot better today, nice and hard and sturdy. My Philodendron El Choco Red in all of her glory. This is the newest leaf, and it came out really odd, because usually they come out really nice and pillowy, but this one had some thrips on it as well, and I think that might be why it came out so funky looking. But I think it just adds character. He's still a cool dude. Got nice red backing on him. I still love him and appreciate him. And then back here, I have a little bulbophyllum orchid who's got some serpens in there. Like a nice little extra treat. She's got serpens all in this guy. And also, I got these two from the exact same place, and she also has like little baby serpents in there. So if you ever buy from Ritter Orchids, you might get some peperomia serpents in your little orchid dude. Then back here, have a Hoya that I do not remember the name of. I am so sorry, everybody. I just can't remember the names of everything anymore, but I never really remembered this one. But I think he's cute. Got some really nice veining on it. Hasn't grown for me yet, so that's, alarming, but it is what it is. But also, speaking of things that just like won't grow for me, is my Hoya obovata variegata, and I don't know what to do with this guy. I propped him 2 different times. One of them was in hopes that he would put out some new growth for me because of it, but no, he's just so stubborn and doesn't want to grow for me. Here is my Philodendron and She also got a really big chop because she had outgrown her pole. She was like touching the actual ceiling of my IKEA cabinet, so she got a nice little chop. She looks a little funky now. She doesn't look like nice and full like she was, but I'm actually considering putting her over there in that section so that she can grow to her full potential. Okay guys, and with that being said, that is going to be the complete edition of my houseplant tour of what I have currently inside my house. I have many plants outside of my house, and I totally did like the speed edition of the tour just because like there's a lot of plants and we got to get through them. I also didn't include all the names in the tour. It would just literally take me forever to do that. So if you have any questions about a specific plant, just leave a comment down below with like a timestamp. I'll be more than happy to tell you the name or anything in particular about that plant. If you haven't already, do consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I also have membership, so please consider subscribing to that as well, joining the little Discord community that we have going on. But yeah, I will see you guys next time, and I just want to say an extra special thank you to my members who have joined. It's so freaking cool and awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. James, Jennifer, Joshua, Kelly, Hillary, Silver, Jenny, Yandy, and Maya. You guys are awesome.
I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever?